Hello everybody and welcome back to another Magic the Gathering Arena video. Today we are looking at the deck that everyone loves to hate, Mono Red, but with a twist. We are trying out the brand new Phyrexian Harvester, 4 red, 5/5 Phyrexian Horror with Menace. It is a Mythic, which is why it's taken me a while to build a deck around it. I had to eventually find 4 of these by opening packs, hence why we are down to 1,800 gold. But whenever Phyrexian Harvester is dealt damage, seek that many non-land cards. At the beginning of your next end step, discard those cards. So, obviously, if Phyrexian Harvester gets blocked whilst it's attacking, it's probably going to be dealt a load of damage, and it's going to give you a ton of cards back. It's going to, by blocking, to kill this by blocking, they have to give you at least 5 cards into your hand, but you do have to discard them at the end of this turn. However, obviously, blocking is not the only way that we can make Phyrexian Harvester get damaged. And some of you may remember previously that I built a deck around the Wrathful Red Dragon, which is a 5-costing alchemy dragon that doesn't exist in standard. It's a 5/5 dragon, and whenever a dragon you control is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to any target that is not a dragon. So, where are we going with this? The way that we built the Wrathful Red Dragon deck before was around the Conductive Current, I think it's called. One sec, whilst this thing, which is deals 3 damage to any creature and it's triple red, and then another instant or sorcery does more damage next time you cast it. I did try that in this deck originally, but actually Brotherhood's End, which actually came out after I released that Dragon's deck, it's actually minorly better because it does damage Planeswalkers as well. We're not running any Planeswalkers. I did think about putting Karn in this deck, but it doesn't quite, not Karn. What's the name of the red dude? Koth. I did consider putting Koth in this deck, but the deck doesn't quite support it. There's too many expensive things that aren't Koth. So Brotherhood's End is actually better, and it gives us that flexibility to destroy artifacts, and that does come in at least one of the games in this video today. And also, I don't think we played against it in the video, but against Anvil decks, for example, that can be a real killer. So whilst I am only running 3 of these, because whilst this is a wonderful combo, I can't stack the deck too heavily with Brotherhood's End when I have other creature-only removals such as Molten Impact in here, because if you end up playing against a control deck or something that isn't too creature-heavy, you just can end up with too many dead cards in your hand. Hence why we're running Play with Fire and not higher damage like Creature 1 like Strangle, which would be slightly better with the Red Dragon and Harvester, targeting our own things. But this is so much more flexibility to target out their face if we need to. So hence why we're running that, because of the the Molten Impacts, because I am running Molten Impact because it does 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker, so it can target our own things. So this, in effect, if we have a Harvester down, can just be draw 4 cards for 2. I mean, that's how good this combination can be. I do know we have to discard them at the end of our turn, but we're running 26 mountains in order to get around that problem. 26 mountains, you may say. Why no Sokenzan? Why no special lands? And that is because the other new card we are running, the Magmatic Scorchwing, is a 5-costing 4/4 dragon. And when it enters the battlefield, if there are no non-basic lands in your library, ta-da, Magmatic Scorchwing deals 3 damage to any target. That's actually a pretty decent ability, especially since it doesn't have any weird, if you cast it clause, i.e. we can copy this bad boy with Fable. So there's another big interaction in the deck, which is to play the Scorchwing, copy it with the Fable, keep doing 3 damage to something every turn. That could be their face, that could be their creatures, that could be their Roscoe the Clockmaker, that could be their Crucius. I mean, 3 damage is the right level in Alchemy to take out a lot of dangerous creatures. And then the rest of the deck is padded out with some other dragons in order to make the Wrathful Red Dragon half decent. So that is 4 Fearsome Whelps. You need some cheap dragons in a Wrathful Red Dragon deck, because although they die to Brotherhood's End, if you want to be able to pop off 9-12 damage, you need to have developed a few dragons onto the board. And because we're running the Harvester, we're running slightly fewer dragons than we did in the last deck. So we still need 4 of these, which make our dragons cheaper. We're running 2 Town-Razer Tyrant. Town-Razer Tyrant is our one nod to the fact that we could face control decks, because it does give that non-basic land that makes them deal them 2 damage each turn. So if we're against aggro decks, they're going to be monocolour most of the time, and this does little to nothing. Well, it's a 4/4 flyer for 4, but no special text other than it's a dragon. But against the things like the Esper control or the blue-white control, this is there, to give us a little edge in those situations. And then I'm running one copy of the Elder Dragon Walk, because A creates a dragon, B gives card filtering, and C deals 2 damage to each creature. 2 damage to each creature is beautiful with the Harvester, beautiful with the Wrathful Red Dragon, so this can either convert that 2 damage into burn to our opponent's face, or this can make us draw cards. And then Fable, copying Scorchwing, copying Wrathful Red Dragon even could be nice if we're about to do a Brotherhood's End. It could be enough to finish the game quicker. And then copying Harvester, it's a 5/5 menace for 4. I mean, this is just a big hitter, even if it's not drawing you cards. So this is also nice to copy. So Fable's very strong in this deck. We're a little heavy on the curve, hence why we're running 26 lands. But I do feel like Molten Impact and Play with Fire combo is enough to get you through most early games. That combined with the fact that Fearsome Whelp is pretty much a kill on sight card is a nice little combo. It just gives us enough to be playing with. So that's the deck. It has had a little bit of thought go into it, a few iterations. I wanted to have more of these in at first, but you just can't have too many 4-drops. The one thing that the deck is lacking maybe is enough dragons, because we are only running 10, 11 sources of dragons plus these. So it's 15 dragons really in the deck, but I call it 11 because I want the dragons in my hand with this down, so that it's only actually 10 dragons that this can make cheaper. So it's on the verge of this card not being good, and we almost want to play like the black one, the Whelp, I can't remember what it's called, this thing. I don't want Planeswalkers anymore. But we can't really support dual mana bases because we're trying to run the Magmatic Scorchwing. There are some like other red dragons that we can run that aren't that expensive. Things like I considered the Barbarian to ramp us. You know, I've considered the Egg because the Egg is actually quite an interesting one because it has 4 toughness. It could survive Brotherhood's End, but we're just not running enough instants and sorceries to support it. And I consider Phyrexian Dragon Engine because obviously it gives us that draw if we unearth it from the graveyard, and it is a 2/2 double strike, but I don't know, this still just about feels right to me. Notice that I am not running Dragon's Fire in this deck, which is unusual for a mono red dragons deck because it is such a good card with the dragons, but it's just not quite a full dragons deck, and hence why we aren't running that here. Anyway, enough talk, enough me blabbering on about mono red and dragons and burn. Let's just have some games, have some fun, see how we get on. Alright, this could be a fun one against the Bouncy Bear. Nice hand. I mean, the end is conditionally nice, but it's good otherwise. Yeah, okay. Don't think we need 2 of these. Samurai deck, eh? Brotherhood's End could be good then. So our Town-Razer is cheaper, which is nice. I think it's time to get that in on that pass. Okay. Oh my goodness. I just exploded. I suppose... No, we might as well use this one whilst we got it. Not that there's anything to make cheaper, but... Imperial Blade Master. Let's try and find... yeah, that'll do. Then we can save this for another day. We'll get rid of that. Carry on going. Got them down to 11 already. It's not the fastest mono red deck in the world, but... yeah. That's a bit annoying. But if we go like this, keep one back. If it's just the captain, we can block it. We can still afford the red dragon next turn. This land is just so annoyingly bad. Oh, they have got the tappy dude as well. Well, it's definitely time for the Brotherhood's end. They can give one of them indestructible, but just in case this gets out of hand. Five, 3, first strike, trample. It's actually quite difficult to deal with. Because we put this in and reflect the damage, but then our dragon is dead. That'll probably be where we have to go though. Shoot it. And then maybe we'll play this. Ah, no, this is good. I wonder what they got. Maybe a burn spell. Okay. The old soul partition. Let's get rid of their red. So this can tap one thing down. Ah. That's what we needed. That's probably the concede. Look at him. What a boy. Alright. Come through the little new samurai deck. Not a massive achievement, but it's a good start. Go. Mario Figueroa. We're missing the bit in between our 1-drops and 5-drops, but we've got quite a lot of it, so we can potentially shoot them in the face to scry. Or not. Looks like we might need to shoot some creatures. There's one of the things in the middle. No, I'd say we're good. Okay, we'll shoot this one. Even though they get some cards. Yeah, they got a land. Couple of Ronin coming, or just one. Yeah, the other one was exiled. Yeah. Alright, we'll get rid of that. That's what these are for, just dealing with another early game that we can get to playing these, so seems to be working. And no doubt our little 2/2 goblin isn't going to survive, but doesn't matter. Oh. Maybe they got more removal. Probably don't want another Fable at this point. Yeah. Doubt we're going to get to attack here. Okay, we are. In which case, let's go with this one. I mean, they could remove this otherwise, and whilst it would hurt them, I'd rather that they couldn't remove it and then conceded. And shooting them in the face for 3 isn't bad. This looks like quite a budget mono red deck. What is all this? What have they got in their hand? Right, we'll be attacking. Obviously, if they leave the reflection around, they're even more than dead. Because we can start copying our Scorchwing. I just don't see a way out of this for mono red now. This thing's too strong against red. Yep. Cool. Again, not a huge triumph, but I'll take it. Alright. Fluid. 1, 2, 3. 4 lands. We'll keep. Got 26 in this deck, and obviously they're all mountains so that our Scorchwing works. Now we've got 5 lands, which is a little bit too many. Let's try to not find another one. Yeah, let's get rid of that. Okay, another play with fire is not the worst. It's almost nice being on the draw here so we can respond to what our opponent does. Hopefully they'll do something and we can then Fable. Yeah, I thought they might. I thought it might be a Crucius though. It's always one or the other. Now they can deal with our little dude. He is a little dude. Look, what's he holding on to? Is that his treasure? Looks like it. Although that... yeah, don't know what that is. Ah, there's the old Crucius. Okay. This probably suits us, because we can Molten Impact that. And, perhaps they look for something else. I think we'll just get rid of 1 land, to be honest. Yeah, fine. We're not even that upset that it cycled into another one. It'd be nice if one of these Kiki Jikis can survive, ready for our Scorchwing. We have got a nice little one of these to play with. Ooh. So we can probably throw away both mountains, because I doubt they're killing both these goblins, and we'll probably draw another one anyway. And if we don't, oh, you flipping out. Got a pile of these mountains to go through. So there's 3 in the bin, there's 1 on the bottom, and then 6 here. Probably wanted to do that before we got the treasure, but they don't know we're flooding. Okay. I'll happily take getting rid of that. We'll play this if we get a chance to copy it. I mean, a 5-5 menace, there's nothing to be sniffed at copying. Not when the opponent's only on 16. And now I think if we top a land, we'll throw... we've already done all of our throwing aways. Well, let's hope we don't top a land now. Only a 38% chance. The opponent was either reading that card or crying about this card, I'm not sure. It's quite scary looking. I think it's about to be answered. They touched it, then they touched their own cards. Then they touch the reflection. Okay, maybe they've only got burn, because then they really struggle to deal with that harvester. Okay, this is where it gets fun. We will have to kill our own reflection though, if we do that. But we get 2 more cards. Let's see if there's any removal. So should we kill a Reflection to draw 2? We'll have up to 4 mana to play with them. But it has to be this turn. It does do 2 damage to the opponent as well. Let's try it. They could always counter this, maybe. No. I could just play it on 2 because this thing is so good. But if they kill this next turn, then I'm gonna go with it. It's the fun option. Give us all 5 cards. Alright. No lands. Okay. Shall we just replace this? I think so. As they were clearly struggling to deal with it, we'll put one back. We just need to top deck like a Molten Impact that we can use on our own Harvester now. No, we'll keep a Town-Razer. This is the matchup for Town-Razer. Your mate disappears, not going very far at the moment. Grixis told where to go. That one felt a lot better than the last ones. When you're playing against like a meta deck, that feels better. Sweet. I mean, not that it needs proving, but yeah, I guess the power of Fable was really proved in that last game because we could really filter through a deck and then filter through so many lands that by the time we came to drawing there were no lands left to draw or very unlikely to draw lands, and then you end up with some cards that you want, which we did. Possibly a little bit lucky with the draws, maybe, although we did flood early, so I don't think it's that lucky. I think we had 11 lands in the top 16, was it? Quite a lot. I'm nervous about this hand. If we're against mono red, we just die, don't we? I think this is a mulligan on the draw. Ah, much better. Put this on bottom. Playing against a diamond player. I'm their final boss, maybe. Now we've got 3 Blaber Fires. They pull an island with their Maestro's Theatre. And another Maestro's Theatre? What's going on here, opponent? There's the black land. Perfect. That's what we want. Then we'll just sit behind our Blaber Fires. Notice that they're still on 20 because these both gain 1 life. Is this just Dimir? Let's see if we can find something we want on top. Interesting that this just stuck then. I.e. they have a counter spell, so I'm not jamming Fable now. Not about that. Yeah, look, they just wasted all their turns so far. They're still doing nothing, eh? It would be nice to find our 2-drop dragon. That's what we're after now. I mean, they could have negate, in which case this is fine, but it's more likely to be a make disappear or an undersimplify or something. Let's test the waters. Because at the moment we're not doing any damage either, so it's worth testing this out. And it resolves, so we can now start doing a bit of damage, or they can get rid of their best land. Gonna shoot my dragon. Yeah, That was kind of expected. I mean, I didn't expect it to resolve at all. The fact that we've managed to target one of their lands is nice. We're definitely dealing with a big pile of hate. And it's hate that we're not very good against, because the Harvester doesn't like really destroy. It's just a big pile of 5/5 for them to shoot at. But it's a spells poison deck, is it? So maybe they're running the Bring the End, or whatever it's called, Bring the Ending. Which would mean this doesn't resolve. But if we let them put a poison counter on us with that 2 costing one that's like draw a card, put a poison counter on opponent, then every turn they'll be proliferating. So I think now we're incentivized to force them to counter. Especially since we'd rather the Red Dragon resolved than this. Okay. Not sure what's going on then. I really hope that they do something in their turn, because I will struggle to throw away this Molten Impact to the Fable, but it feels like the right move, right? We've not seen a single creature. We've seen literally 2 Edicts and a draw spell. Nebraska.
Be broken. Embrace the inevitable.
Okay, well now the impact could be useful. And they're sacking that land. So I think we have to say 0 and get rid of Vraska.
So we chose to die. You have accomplished.
Otherwise they're just never going to be out of cards. And don't really want to throw away the Red Dragon. Okay. I think opponent's playing in like full control mode or something. Since we haven't seen a single counter yet, we'll try playing this. Because if it's more edicts, at least we've got a chumpy thing. There's probably going to be some go with the throats or something a bit more direct at some point in here. Just return it to my hand. Okay. We're slowly getting them down on cards. Got so much mana though. Yeah, this is better. At least if it gets returned to our hand, we can shoot them for 3. And if it survives, we just clone it with Reflection forever. Now they counter. Okay. Down to 3 cards. Okay, going up in cards. We still don't have any poison counters on us. All these like if poison proliferation type cards. Here's a little poisoner. I'll play the land first so that if the Red Dragon resolves, we can respond with a copy of it. They're proliferating again with no poison on us. No. We've at least made it to the beginning of our end step now, so we'll have a copy as a blocker for the Skull Dweller, if nothing else. If we can make it to the end of that area and step, that'll be even nicer. Wait. Exile it if it has mana value 3 or less. That does nothing. Nearly got fooled. Ah, this is the one I was thinking. Each opponent gets a poison counter. They're desperate for us to have poison on us, though. Now the proliferation will start to stack up. Okay, 2 cards in hand. We've still got our Red Dragon. Only on 2 poison as well. Okay, now we have to try and copy. Give me a copy to sacrifice. Lose it as a blocker, but we're already on 3 poison, so they've kind of hit their benchmark now. Okay. Put them on 2. And try and resolve a Fable. Okay. So they're out of cards. It's looking quite good. See what they can top deck. Well, the fact that they're carrying on implies they've got something. Nah, not enough. Good game. That was a bit of a tense one. But we proved to be a hard final boss for Sombro. Good. 94. Okay. Hero of Time. Fine. On the draw, this would be less good, but on the play, this is quick enough to deal with most aggro decks. And if it's not aggro, we've got this. The 83% is the sign of someone who's been experimenting. Which normally means a slightly easier game, but it can mean that someone's discovered something and you end up having no idea what you're facing. Alright, Skrelv is an interesting start. Been poisoned. Okay, so just a Fable, I think. Got to throw away some of these lands. Mono white versus mono red. Not normally a matchup I'd revel. 1, 2. Well, this isn't very good. This is pretty good though. And we've got a nice little combo thing going on in our hand here, if we can get our opponent a bit lower. Lion. Okay, got a bit of a drawing engine going here, but we will do too if we get our Harvester in. So we'll attack with both. If they block, it's a free kill on the Adeline. Well, free. Cost us this play with fire. And if they don't, great. I think the Harvester's the right move because of the Adeline. And maybe we should shoot Skrelv so they can't... I'll hold it for now. Obviously Skrelv is very powerful versus us because they can give any creature unblockable. Okay, we don't want to give them the 2/2. So we'll deny them that pleasure. Because this was an artifact and enchantment, they would have got a 2/2 samurai, which makes that thing far too good a value, so we'll definitely try and deny that. So I think here we just copy this. Gets us in for 10. And then we'll play a Fable, I suppose. Oh, they're going to get a... I didn't even realise at the start of their upkeep they're going to lose one life. Yeah, convincing. This deck's performing. Okay. Is this the same person? 84%? I didn't check the name of the last person. Ugh, this is not a very good hand. Gonna mulligan this. Mildly better. Not the same person. Or if it is, they've switched decks. Or same person and they've just got the land they were missing. Let's put this at their face. We've got the Brotherhood's End. I'd rather have a Fable or a Fearsome Whelp. Let's not have that. There's loads of land in this deck. Yeah, I thought we'd draw more anyway. Had to play loads of land because got to make sure you can play the dragons and, you know, all these things. What? I guess we'll get rid of that. Why not? Don't allow them to start building up any toxic on us either. We got another little mini sweeper here as well. What? Oh, funky cheap artifacts going down. Oh man, Elder Dragon War is looking nice. No one can say that I'm just playing meta decks though. Look at this deck. It's all over the place. But it's controlling our opponent very nicely at the moment. They're just slowly dying to their own hive. Hey, what's this thing? 4/4 haste toxic 3. I don't know if I've ever seen that card. Submit 0. That is slightly worrying. They'll almost definitely have removal for this dragon as well. It's the first creature we've played. Tyrannic's Atrocity. We'll have to fight to push it back at that. It was a fight spell to remove it, so... But we can't be taking 3 more toxic. They can tap this once a turn for us to lose 1 life. What an interesting design. Because normally toxic spells just want to toxic you more. Guess we'll play this. I think we'll start working on their life total because At the moment we've got such solid blockers, it's madness to attack. And their life is going down 1 a turn from their Bitter Blossom Hive. We'll play this and attack with one of our dragons. Probably this token. Next turn we've got lethal. You just have to get in with one of them. Obviously they can try and gain life with their life linking things, but they'll lose it back to the red dragon. Yeah, like so. So they gain a little bit, but they just lose it again. They did get a 6 toxic though, which is not bad going. Fine, we'll put a little extra fuel on this fire. 9, we've got 13 here, that's 14. Dealt with again. Ready. So I believe that we're 6-0 with this deck at the moment. We have been playing some pretty wild decks, but you're no joke if you go 6-0 in Alchemy. Or maybe you're a joke if you do it in Alchemy and not anywhere else, but shh. Okay. Well, this looks rather ideal for our starting hand. We're just the mirror of their hand. What? What is this? 9 cards, 4 play with fires. I mean, I'm not complaining. When do you want your play with fires? It's in your opening hand. Just seems quite strange. There's no point shooting this. Oh, maybe there is. They get a zombie, but it's got decayed, so they can't even really attack with it. Well, they can attack with it, but it's 2 damage. Shelter the apocalypse. Nope. Makes it more painful to use our 2nd chapter on Fable, but I don't think we want to use it anyway. So we attack. Alessio is not interested, in which case I will create a 4/4. Obviously my plan was to use this and this, but oh, this is so sweet. Number 4, play with fire. This dude's like wood. Can't do much about that. And Sheldred is a hard card to race. But I will do my best to race. Because we've got so much damage on this board. 2 draws. So do we give up our reflection and kill the Sheldred? Hold on, so we've got 4, 8. Let's call it 10 damage, plus 3, 13. We definitely can't kill them. So I think We maybe do. Like this. We get in for 14. And then we do 3 damage to each creature. And then we end our turn. And then we've got 2 threats for lethal. Had to do a little bit of thinking. We're not big fans playing against black cards, but it's 7 in a row. Okay. Reader and Weep. Not the best hand, but with this you play with fire, so I'm hoping we can send one at face, given we've got 2 impacts. When we've got 2 impacts, we will send one at face. We can scry, we can find more land, and we can be happy. We don't want another one of those. We do, however, want one of those. We might need to hold on to this play of fire. There's another black deck, so there could be Sheldreds or other disgusting like things around. Town-Razer, this is not your game. But a 4/4 dragon is still a 4/4 dragon. Undead Butler. Let's give it a look at what's going on here. Gruesome Realization. Sheldred's Edict. Okay, I don't know what's going on here. Let's give them something to kill. Here you go. Have a 4/4 dragon. This black player's itching to kill my ship. I can feel it. So there's no creatures in there. What? So they can shuffle in an Edict or the Realization. Edict it is, yeah. So the Butler is designed to give them targets for the Assimilator? Possibility, I suppose. I want to play this, but I don't want to shoot the creatures with the damage from it. So I'm just going to do this and pass this turn. I want them to develop a little bit more as well before we play our, like, the final trick we have in our hand. Ugh. So they can get their Assimilator back. And probably get around to play it. At least our next Molten Impact will be effective. They don't have a land. Kidding me. Okay, I'll play this. 1 damage is 1 damage. Never throw away 1 damage, especially when you're playing mono red. What? So they have 17 cards in? You haven't got another land? Ah, 1 in there. Yeah, what can I say? You can shuffle a land in. Are you going to leave the whelp alive is the question. It's a bit of a bait, but no, they're not going to leave the whelp alive. Okay, obviously it would be tempting to do that, but this is actually a better play here because A, we can put this on here and put 3 more damage in the bank. Obviously a small point, but in this case make sure you're always targeting the thing with your active impact with the lowest toughness so that we can bank the most power for later. Because now this, if there is a Sheldred or something, it's a removal for that. Which would be nice. This is just a hand of removal. Interesting that they're willing to trade 3 life for 2 and a card. I mean, it makes sense, it's just that they're so low, and they get mono red. And they can't even play a land this turn if they draw one. Okay, I'm going to play this, give them something to shoot. It does put them on 6. And if they didn't draw a land, it stops them just underdogging again. Well, it doesn't stop them, but we only take the 3 damage. This one doesn't feel good because our opponent's got so many cards, but they're obviously struggling for land, so maybe all of these cards are removal spells or invoke despairs and they're 1 mana off. I don't know. Opponent's keyboard's maybe gone out the window due to not finding their 5th land. Okay. Invoke despair, at least one of them's gone on the Phyrexian arena. But they have got a load of life back. Oh man, you couldn't have done that move on my... oh, this thing. Well, I really want them to try loading up creatures now. That would be the best thing to ever happen. Sadly, they got their 5th land. And they're invoking some despair upon me. We're now going to get hit by the train, aren't we? This isn't the same as my mono black deck. I don't think this is as good. I don't know what this butler's doing in here, but it's still decent. Like, they've got a good core 70% of the cards are the same. And they've got this little cycle that I advertise, like shuffle the invoke despairs in. This could be the loss. You never know. We could top deck a Harvester. We're still going to struggle, but especially if one of these is invoked despair. There's our Harvester, but I can't Brother's End until next turn. Otherwise I get none of the cards. So we just have to pray that they can't remove it. I can't watch. It's getting removed, isn't it? No? Flesh Gorger. Now we're doomed because we'll never be able to target this thing. Artifacts of mana value 3 or less, it's a mana value 7. And maybe I can top a Brotherhood's End when I Brotherhood's End. That would do it. Okay, wish me luck, boys and girls. That does do it. I mean, we're dead because they've got this. But that, just to show them how comedy that is, how close we came. Oh, no, but we have to throw this away. Otherwise it would be amazing. GG, look how close we came. The turnaround potential. GG. That was fun though. I'm not gonna lie, I even have fun losing. It's time for the stats. For those who like that kind of thing. New deck 136. It doesn't refresh with my deck name yet. Untapped was having some problems earlier and I thought it might not be recording my games. Thankfully it was. 13-2, an 87% win rate. I mean, over 15 games, an 87% win rate is pretty darn strong. This latest version of the deck is 10-1. there were quite a few changes, 3 card changes in that. I made them, I accidentally put the Sokenzan in, which was the first stupid mistake. And then the Town-Razers were there to try and add us a few more dragons, because I had the Elder Dragons War in another Brotherhood Den, but it meant that I had to tweak out of the deck. But yeah, 13 and 2, you saw the damage it did. Now, we've got some slightly soft matchups, I do admit that, but you know, this deck is fun, and it's got legs, and we get to play with this new beast, which is always fun. Playing with like a 4 red cost thing, I mean, if only there was some kind of devotion mechanic in Alchemy. I mean, maybe I'll have to have a look in Historic. I think this card's probably too weak for Historic, but yeah, it's got a lovely little looking devotion to it. But yes, very, very fun deck. It actually has been winning me games. It has been climbing. That was all in Mythic as well, so it's not just pure dumb luck. But I don't think the deck is as good as an 87% win rate, I have to say, but it is still good, and it is still a winning deck, and it does still beat Dimir and other red decks, which is important. Anyway, thank you very, very much for watching the video. If you did appreciate or like the video, please do like it. That's that would be lovely. And if you want to see more of the same thing, then subscribe. I'll be doing more. I'll be doing some more alchemy content. I may even do a little bit of the remastered Shadows of Innistrad content. Just not sure how to slip that in yet, because it doesn't fit into my normal formats, but we'll see. We'll see. Thank you very, very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.